All right, guys. Today we are gonna be reacting to Andrew and Brian expose these girls' double standard on submission. Jump in.
I think from everyone gets a different impression of what marriage is or what they think it's going to be from how they're raised and their environment a lot of the times. But okay, say I am submissive. That's fine with me if it's within reason, right? Like you said, like what he's asking you to do. I do think it's nice when a male takes the lead in a marriage or relationship. But
not just a marriage and a relationship. The second you meet a man, you want him to lead.
True.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Yeah,
meet me
that's true
here
sometimes.
at this time. I'm gonna pick you
that's true.
up.
That's true.
We're
Yeah.
going here. We're doing this.
Yeah.
This is what we're eating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want. It's not just.
Yeah.
Oh, in
Yo, they
marriage,
don't even recognize what they like. This is crazy.
you want him to be a leader.
Well, I didn't
You want
really.
it
I'm
the
sorry, I didn't think of it
instant
that
you
way.
guys meet.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, then I guess. So what's your? So then,
I
with
want
us being
submission immediately.
submissive. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then if it works, it works. If we're both attracted to each other, and I guess I'll be
Look.
submissive and they'll be dominant. That's fine. In the way that they'll pick the time, I'll be there. I'll be in a whatever.
Just claim
I'm
y'all
wearing.
are modern women. Just claim you're modern women.
What's
look,
the
it's
definition you think
I'm
are?
a modern woman.
I don't think
Modern.
anyone denied that they were modern women. This is
But-
2024, not medieval times.
You're
Yo,
right.
they got triggered, bro. They got triggered with that. Look.
I'm a modern
Yeah,
woman.
they
don't
got
think
triggered, bro. This
Fine, in the way
because they're
that-
getting exposed, right? They're getting exposed. That's why they're getting triggered. So they start denying it.
They'll pick the time. I'll be there. I'll be in a whatever.
Just claim
I'm
y'all
wearing.
are modern women. Just
Like
claim
how
you're
they got
modern
triggered.
women.
What's the definition you think
I'm
are?
a modern woman.
I don't think anyone denied that they were modern women. This is
But-
2024, not medieval times.
You're right. Y'all are modern women. Y'all are modern women, but you still like to receive the benefits of male traditional
Yep.
gender roles.
I also like
Hold
to
on.
do traditional roles as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think
Like
there
what?
can be. I don't think it's black and white.
I mean,
It is fucking black and white. I'm sorry for my French here. It is damn black and white. It's not this gray zone. No, it's black and white. Black and white.
Do you think
You're
we're
right.
not deserving
you're
at
a
all of
porn
any of
star,
that?
miss. No offense.
No offense taken, but
Yeah,
I do OnlyFans.
You're not
yes.
traditional. Like, yeah, you're a porn star.
Sure, in that
Like, that's the
aspect,
least
I'm not.
traditional
In
thing
that
you could do.
aspect, I'm not traditional.
No,
In
you're
other
not,
aspects
point
I
blank.
am, and like.
Okay. Well,
What's your argument?
Brian, double down. She's not.
I mean, it's kind of like, it would be like me saying as a guy, oh yeah, like I'm traditional, like I open your car door, but like you're gonna pay for fucking everything on the date. Does that make me traditional?
No.
Oh, if there's like a safety situation or like there's a fight that breaks out, you're gonna defend me. And I'm gonna like, oh, there's a
If
spider.
it's against
there's
a girl,
spider.
yeah, the girl's going to defend you because you can't
Hold on.
touch her.
If there's a spider, you gotta kill that shit.
I have traditional ways and I have non-traditional ways, and
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that's what I just
Sure.
said is no black and white.
And I have some traditional ways. I have non-traditional way. And sometimes I like to, high heel, low heel. It's all subjective. It's all this thing that it's not black and white, guys. You don't get it. You guys are stupid. You guys are not. You male men, savage, prehistoric thing. You guys don't get it. You see what I'm saying? You guys don't get it. I can be two ways. I can be traditional when it's convenient and non-traditional when it's not convenient. But you guys don't get it. See, that's the problem, guys. We don't get it. We don't get
I
it.
think to some degree it is a spectrum. Like some people could not be fully like 100% traditional. There could be like a spectrum to it. But I think like when it comes to y'all, you guys, even like you could be super woke, progressive, like super liberal, super feminist, not traditional at all, but you still acknowledge that traditional treatment from men is way better than like modern treatment from men. And so despite you all being modern, non-traditional women, you've totally forsaken, abandoned, cast aside your traditional gender roles, but with the utmost entitlement, you still expect men to adhere to their traditional gender roles.
I see where you're coming from with that. And okay, so say, okay, we're not virgins, we're not traditional, we're more modern, I guess, and what we're expecting and what we desire, right? So that means that, are we just...
Yo, look at her, bro. Look at the one on the red, man. Like, what the hell? Look at that. No, she's like... She's mean. She's mad, though.
Maybe, or how do
Look at
both
that.
people... How
She's
should the
mad.
woman then change if she's not traditional, but if she wants something traditional? How should the woman change, and what should she do? And also, how is the man
That's a
still
great
going to
question,
like accept her? And is she just kind of used goods? Is if she's not a virgin anymore?
you
Is
know
there
what
still
goes
hope
the
that she
longest?
can like?
I can answer the question. It's a good question.
Okay.
So let me steel man it first to make sure I got it correct, and then if I got it correct, I'll go ahead and answer it. So your question is, well, I don't understand though, if we've broken all the virtue and this and that, but we want to go back, right? We want to in some way do this differently this time. Mm-hmm. What are the things that we can do to do that? Is that essentially what the question is, or are these women just broken and busted and no longer worthy of anything? Is that what you're asking?
Busted.
Of course, I should do my part as he should do his
no.
part. So how should I do my part then?
Yeah. Well, one thing that goes a long way for men is submission.
Okay.
So the idea of traditionalism, right, or the idea
They
of-
really want to escape. They really want to escape that, guys. Submission just bring balance to this, but they want to be chaotic because they're damaged. So that's all they know, like damage stuff.
If you generally want a man of high virtue, he's going to expect submission. That's going to be at least one thing he's going to expect. However, if you want a low virtue man, they often don't give a shit. So it's kind of up to you.
They sleep with you.
Yeah, no. So submission, okay, I understand and all of that, but there is a clear thing of no one's better than the other, right? We're both loyal to each other, we both love each other, and we both are, I guess, in a way, a team so that we can create a healthy living environment
You're not
for
a
our
team.
children.
That's the opposite of submission. So the idea of virtues between men and women are very different. The idea for masculine virtues, for instance, are going to be things like bravery. They're going to be things like
courage.
What could be perceived as what she was talking about with chivalry, where you're the protector, you're the guider. There's all sorts of different virtues that you can associate with masculinity. Feminine virtues are things like chastity, right? Gracefulness, empathy. These are various forms, right? But not leadership. That's not a feminine virtue. It's a masculine virtue. It's a male-sided virtue. So the thing is that, of course, virtuous men expect that from women. They expect them to fall into their feminine roles as virtuous women.
I feel like-
otherwise, they just simply don't think that you have virtue. They consider you vexing or willful or things like this.
Go ahead.
So are you kind of saying that men, like, are you really talking through and through traditional in a sense of a household where men go to work and the woman stays at home? Is that what you're referring to?
Well, women have always worked. Whether
Well,
you
I'm
think so
talking
or
about
not.
a traditional
Yeah,
household, like
and
you're
I'm trying
referring to with submission. Like, is that what you're
I
referring
understand
to?
what you're asking, trying to answer the question.
Yes,
feel like my
look at that.
question
See. Just, I knew there was something going on with her. I think when Andrew did the little, say that, with the glass and everything, she now's testing. Now this is a chest test. This is a chest test. She want to know if Andrew is the guy for this. Let's see.
Is I feel like now, like you say, men want submission,
But
but
okay.
I also feel like to a certain extent they really don't. Like they'll make fun of
Yeah,
you
I
if you
mean,
don't have a
which
job.
ones?
They'll make fun of you if you're not like contributing. So it's like they want everything. They want you to make money, but like less money than them.
You think
Or-
that a contribution or minor contributions to the household or working towards some shared interest or goal or something like this has anything to do with virtue? Because it doesn't. The idea that, okay, you're in a two-income economy or something like that, so it requires two incomes, doesn't have any bearing whatsoever on the nature of your virtuousness. None. Not for men and not for women. So yeah, there could be an expectation that women at times contribute to the household, or perhaps the entire time they contribute to the household because there's no other way around it. So what? How does that affect a man's virtue or a woman's? I don't even understand that.
Well, you're talking about submission.
Yeah, submission. Yeah. You're
So
supposed to
give me
submit to the man.
so
But
she's
you're
submitting
looking
to a
at it as
man, yet she makes
transactional.
significantly more money than him. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm like,
It's
I'm
not
not that's a good thing,
transactional.
but I'm
Virtue
just-
can't be bought. You can't be like, oh, well, the thing is, I make just as much money as you, so I don't have to be fucking virtuous. That makes no sense.
what
I
I'm
have
saying.
I have a question. So
Hey,
what
the
constitutes
sister who just jumped in, man. Oh my God. Andrew wasn't a very good exchange for sister who has to jump in.
as a leader? Because are you saying that women can't be leaders?
Well, yeah, they can be leaders to some extent, some regard, sure. But they're never going to lead societies ever.
Why do you feel that way?
Why do you feel that way?
Because it's force doctrine. So essentially, it just operates this way. When it comes to power dynamics, men are always going to have a advantage over force. And
Always.
Since they have an advantage over force, women will always have to appeal to men for protection and rights, and men will never have to appeal to women for that.
So if let's say this, women are typically better at multitasking.
Bullshit. My bad. This is what really brought me back to reality, this argument. And I heard it from Andrew Wilson. Force doctrine. Guys, this is what all comes down to. The force doctrine. And they cannot defend their rights. We are the one keeping those rights, right? So it doesn't make sense for a female to lead the country. Why? Because it doesn't extend. It doesn't expand. You know when they say that the gun is the extension of yourself, the sword is the extension of yourself, the object is an extension of yourself. You cannot have a female leading a country and then you have men. Make no sense, guys. Think about it. Let's say that Congress become, and I had said this argument multiple times. Congress becomes 51% female. Vice president's female. The president's female. The majority of governors and, a state legislative, 51% females. Hey, we're going to go to war. Hey, let's send guys. 95% of men. Does that make sense, guys? You're literally calling for revolt at that point. The guys are going to look at yourself and say, nah, we're not going to do anything. And what are you going to do? Tell all the guys to force your rights on top of that? Doesn't make sense, guys. This is the force doctrine argument was really what brought me. I was looking for that last piece, but I knew something was not right when it comes down to these kind of extensive rights, like the right to vote, females, the 19th Amendment, right? And all these kind of rights, right? They got the right, guys, without firing a bullet. It's crazy. Without firing a bullet, they got all the same rights as men. And you know who defend them? Men. Well, but why do we do that? Why do we do stuff like that? I just don't get it. This is the argument, guys. Force doctrine. Force doctrine is literally the base, the roots of the tree. If you have a tree, the roots is gonna be the force doctrine. If you're red pill or black pill, whatever, MGTOW, whatever, force doctrine is basically what's gonna put things in line. All from the bottom to the top. Boom. If they cannot defend their rights, guys, Americans, right? We went for what? Independence, 1776, Civil War. Very, very brutal Civil War. We went to what? We also went for Hispano-American War, First World War, Second World War, Korean War, Vietnam War, Gulf War. I mean, all these, that's just to fight for our rights. And they didn't do anything. They're just females. Let's just give them the same amount of power. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? No, it doesn't.
And men are typically stronger. I just want to make a point.
That's true. That's true.
I want to.
I'll just grant it.
I could be wrong. I want to hear your take on this, because I honestly think you're a very good debater, and I wanted just to tickle your brain on this. So I would say women are pretty good at multitasking. They can handle a lot of things at once.
Nope.
And I'd say men can definitely have more force and more.
And multitasking is not a real thing, by the way. It's just what you're doing is deviating the information that you're sending different ways. Right? You cannot, in theory, you cannot multitask. The brain doesn't have that capability.
Strength over women, but I feel like, wouldn't it be better to run the world off of a computer than a hammer?
Oh my God.
Well, who's going to make the computer and who's going to make the hammer?
I mean, I feel like they have to kind of go together. If you're only the hammer, you're going to be a caveman. If you're only a computer, you're not going to have, I don't know.
Well, who's going to make the computer, though? And who's going to maintain the computer systems? And who's going to write all the software for them?
Well,
and by the way,
then there's the thing that we need each other.
Let's assume for a second it's all women who do that.
Mm-hmm.
And men just decide one day, fuck them, we're going to go take their computers. What can women do about that?
I mean, women build computers too. But what I'm saying, is,
no.
Society goes better as symbiotic.
I'm granting your argument. I'm saying, let's just assume women built all the computers, all of them, every one of them in existence. And men one day collectively went, fuck, I want all their computers. We want all their computers. And they just went and, took them. What could women do about that?
But I'm not saying computer as an object. I'm saying women are smart and they're great at multitasking. They are the computer of society. And then you have men, they are the hammer, they are the boot, they are the enforcer of society. You can't just put one of them in the corner. You can get so much more.
Wait, are you talking about IQ?
No, not just IQ.
I understand what she's saying. What she's saying here is, if women are better multitaskers, right, they can do various tasks in a more efficient way. Mm-hmm. And so women act in societies like a central task allocating computation machine. Then shouldn't you give that task to women because they're better at it, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, for the betterment of society, because women can be leaders. I feel like a computer, something that's multitasking, something that could tell people what to do, where to do it, that they can still be a leader in.
Wow.
We haven't tried.
Hang on.
Sorry.
I'm granting your argument. I just gave it back to you, so I'll just respond to it. Mm-hmm. That's literally what women do right now. They're in the charges and jobs that they have are designed specifically around this. They're school teachers. They're in the service industry. They do all this type of shit. But whether or not you're a great task manager, whatever that means, or you're in some way great at logistics or something like this, who cares? You're not going to go up on the top of the mountains in order to fix power lines. You're not going to be doing oil rig work. You're not going to be doing any of the type of work which keeps society running, and you don't have the force necessary, the requisite compositional force necessary to make men do what you want through anything other than subtle manipulation. Mm-hmm. So if men decide at any time to exercise force doctrine, women can't do anything about it. Now, if you want examples of that, I give you every Muslim nation on planet Earth right now.
No, I understand that, but I would also tell you that the majority of countries that are led by women are the happiest in the world.
The Nordic nations?
Yeah, the Nordic nations, they have a huge problem of depression over there, man. That's crazy.
Not true. So this metric comes from the United Nations, right? And the UN polls on the metrics for happiness are actually quite silly. And I could actually, if you ever wanted to, I could go through them with you so that you understood this. But you can go through them line item by line item, and they're quite silly. If you look at depression rates in Nordic nations, it actually makes sense why so many people there are depressed, because it's always snowy and cold and dark and drab. Mm-hmm. So they go off of other metrics like, they make more money per capita. They do this per capita, but not actually off of mental illness, depression rates, things like this. They go off of completely different metrics than you or I would use to determine happiness.
Yeah, but I also say that their countries.
She just don't want to grant it. She just don't want to grant it. She just want to keep going. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one.